Here is video 2. We're going to start with the details in correspondence and setting up your matter, and I'll pretty much cover everything up until the financial part of things. So when you create a new matter, you are going to find this screen, and you'll notice that the matter number still says TBA. Once I click off this, it's going to save, and it'll update. And in fact, I'll just do that really quickly now so you can see what that looks like. So now you can see it's assigned a matter number based on my naming convention. And then the status still says in progress. On the left here, we have what's called a details screen. And you'll see that there are a lot of fields here, and they're all customized to the matter type. So remember when we chose the matter type, this is kind of one of the reasons why it matters. It's a purchase. So we got the vendor, vendor's lawyer, property compliance, transaction details, purchasers, real estate brokerage, land surveyor, lender, appraiser, mortgage broker, all these kind of different fields. There's a few reasons why data entry is super important in LEAP. One, you want to have all your information in one place. You don't want to have to go digging in your inbox and digging in your file folder and digging everywhere trying to, your sticky notes on your wall to try and find this information. So having it all in one place just means that you're really, really organized and have good records. The other reason is because one of the main features of LEAP is document automation, precedents, court forms. If you have everything in here, it makes it really easy to take advantage of that. If you are trying to, have some sort of like precedent where it needs to pull information from here, but it's not filled in, you're just going to get a bunch of blank fields. So it's always good to enter as much information as possible, and it's really easy. So for example, purchaser, we have Rosie Goodman. If we need to edit anything, the easiest thing to do is just to right click it. So I can either open her card, if I need to make changes, for example, update the address, update any information. I can also, have a new purchaser. You can add, there's like related tables like purchaser, employer. You can set her as something else. You can replace her. So new purchaser would have like two purchasers, like maybe Rosie Goodman and somebody else are purchasing it together. But if it's actually not Rosie Goodman who's purchasing it and it's somebody else and you made a mistake, you can also replace that. You can create a letter to her. You can email her. You can call her. You can add a debtor card. Like if Rosie Goodman isn't the person the invoices should be going to, somebody else is paying, you can add a debtor card. You can also, have a compact view or kind of change that if you want to. And you can do that for, oops, I accidentally clicked that. I'll show you in a second what that looks like. So you can do that for any of these fields, or you can just double click. So if I double click vendor, it's going to give me an option to create a new card for the vendor. Let's say for some reason, we've worked with this vendor before as a vendor. We can, add a vendor from our cards list. Like maybe Donald Duck is selling a lot of property, and we've worked with him before. And same thing. If we have the lawyer in here, it's going to automatically show you like other law firms. So I have 123 law firm. And then maybe Cindy lawyer is the lawyer at the law firm who's the lawyer. Property details. You can put in the address, the kind of land registry office information. There's also, you can put in like the legal identification, the property number, legal description, the registration act, assessment roll number, all sorts of other information. Any type of charges on the title, last transfer, new transfer. Compliance. So this is where you can check off that you've done your conflict check. You can check off that you've done the identity check, that you completed it, any notes on that. Here's the conflict check. This is where we could go back to the conflict check and attach it to this matter. And I'll say no conflict. In fact, I'll just show you how to do that really quickly. We go menu, conflict check. Here's the one that I just did. I know it's for a completely different name, but we'll just pretend it's the same. attach to a matter and update compliance. Just going to search the name, but you can search the matter number or whatever it might be. Select. And now this conflict check is attached to the matter. But yeah, you can complete the compliance. Because these change for each matter, you can just go, like, you can kind of explore your matters. If you need to change what these fields are because things are missing or there's a bunch of things that aren't relevant, just right click at the top, edit table types, and you'll see on the left is it gives a suggestion of fields that are commonly used for this matter type. So there might be a court, there might be a real estate council, there might be a home inspector, might be, Family Law Act details. So you just uncheck and uncheck. Like maybe there's no lender, maybe they're just paying cash or something. So check and uncheck what's relevant to you. If there's still things from here that aren't, that you need more, on the right you can see all the fields in all of LEAP. Band representative, bank account, builder's lawyer, co-accused lawyer. There's probably thousands of fields. So knowing there's so many, you can also just search. So for example, if I start typing TR, we've got trust, trust protector, trustee, trustee's employer. If I go to, you got the transaction levy, I'm just, keep typing, you got trademark agent. So you can also search the table types to find what you're looking for. A little removed it, that's okay. Yeah, so that's how you can update this. If you need to change the matter type for some reason or any of the other kind of matter details, you just right click at the top and change that. The matter type is where we can, open matter type and change that. So that's how you can update all the details here. On this side, we have correspondence. So anything related to the matter information-wise is going to show up here. So letters you create, documents you create, spreadsheets, PDFs, emails, comments, notes, everything shows up here. And I'll show you how to create these in a sec. But first, I'm going to show you how to organize and navigate this. So you can even have a navigation pane. It's just like a Windows File Explorer. If you right click, you can create a new folder, and maybe we'll have one called, compliance. Have one called emails. Documents from client, whatever might be your folder structure, right? And you can see these here, and you just, again, click this to show and hide it. You can have subfolders by dragging and dropping. So now you'll see how this is a subfolder. You can drag them back out again. So you can organize this however you like. You can also, sort or filter by type, by name, by staff, modified, things like that. So you can customize this view similar to how you customize the main matter list. You can also search correspondence if you're looking for like one email where they said one thing or whatever it might be. To create a new document, it's pretty easy. Just hit new document. Just gonna quickly save it. There we go. And you have a few options. You won't have as many options here because we kind of create them in training, but you have a blank document, which is just a plain old empty document, a plain old empty spreadsheet. You can also do a letter or a letterhead. So a letterhead is just your letterhead, but still a blank document. And a letter is going to have like the dear, the to, your signature, things like that. So I'm going to do a blank letter to Rosie Goodman. And it's going to open in Word here. She's got my letterhead, and it's using the document automation. It's pulling the information from the card. It's pulling today's date. It's pulling the file number. It's pulling my email, my name, my name down here. It's pulling the reline. So there's a few things. If you mouse over and it's gray, you can see where you have merge fields. The other way to quickly see the merge fields is if we click editing, this little arrow down here, and toggle fields, you'll be able to see them. So when you open a document in LEAP, you'll see that there's now in Word a LEAP, what's called the LEAP ribbon. So you have options like save and close, rename and close, time save and close, save, close, update, delete. You can share the document, by Law Connect. You can also, save this back to your matter as a PDF. You can print it. You can insert a clause from your clause library. That's part of precedent training. You can also insert more merge fields from any piece of information you've added to the matter. This is also part of precedent training. I'm just showing you that this exists for now. When you're done working on it, I'm just going to untoggle the fields again, and you're ready to save it back to your matter, you have a couple options. You can save and close, but you can also time save and close. So what that's going to do is it's going to save it back to your matter, and it's going to generate a time entry for the amount of time that you spent working on this document. So I will show you what that looks like. And we'll also get to time entries later, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you'll see the matters pre-filled. The minute and 32 seconds we spent on this is pre-filled, which is 1 unit at a 6-minute billing unit, but you can change that if you need to. You can change your hourly rate. You can change the tax, all sorts of things. The billing description is just blank letter to Mrs. Rosie Goodman, because I didn't rename it. I could have. There's the rename button if you remember. An internal memo if you need one, staff, and whether or not it's billable. So I'm just going to save and close for now. And you will see that I have the conflict check saved here. I also have the blank letter saved here. There's a couple other ways you can get documents into the matter, and I will show you them all throughout our training, but I'll show you a couple now. Is one, you can just import the document, and all that does is it just takes you to your folder structure to be able to upload a document. The other way you can do it, and when I show you Outlook, I will show you how to do that, is you can attach a document from Outlook and save it to a matter. The third way is you can take any document from, if you just open it like from your folder on your desktop, or in this case, I'm just going to create a random old document. And so because I created this in Word and I opened it in Word and it's not already in Leap, you'll notice there's no Leap ribbon. If I click up here, Save to Matter, I'm going to have the option to find the matter and save it. I'm just going to search for it, select it, save it. You can also choose if you want to save it to a folder in the matter. And now it's importing this document to Leap. Once it's imported to Leap, you'll see again that we have this Leap ribbon with all these options to, save and rename and all the other kind of different things. So I'm going to save it back here, and now we just have this document in our correspondence folder. So that's new document. New email is, again, exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be sending an email from this matter to someone related to the matter. So similarly to how new document opens in Word, new email is going to open in Outlook. So now here we have, the new email field. You can, and the subject by default is to the client. Because I didn't search, or I didn't right click an email to it, it's just blank. But what I actually need to do is turn on that's actually fine. So I can just manually type the email. Otherwise, if you choose someone from the matter and right click an email, it'll obviously go to them. I'm going to type my test email. I actually use Gmail. I don't use Outlook other than for Leap trainings. But if you use Outlook all the time and you have a signature, your email signature is going to show up here automatically as well. You'll also see on your ribbon here, you've got these Leap options. If you click the 3 dots, you can also go into settings and customize this so your Leap options show up right here. But time and send is, it'll create a new time entry. Oh, look at, I've got one of my my matter related calendar notifications. To create a time entry for how long you spent drafting the email and send it. You can save draft and close. You can close. You can insert a file from your Matter. You can also, like, I just typed my my email address, but you can also see all of your contacts on a Matter and select it this way, so you don't have to remember, you know, the email address or copy and paste it in. You can also change the Matter if it's like not the right Matter. Maybe it's the right client, but it's a different Matter you want to email them through. You can insert merge fields from the Matter, and this is part of the precedent training, but I'll just show you quickly what it looks like. It works exactly the same that it does in Word. So let's say, you know, client, got all my Leap notifications popping up today because this is the first time I've opened it today. Maybe it's, you know, full name and address that I want to insert. It's now putting in, you know, the full name and address. Once you click on it, you can won't show it in the Outlook version, but in Word you can actually preview at the bottom what it looks like, which is nice. There's a lot of different fields here. There's pretty much, like I said, any field for any piece of information on a Matter. It's even got critical dates, it's got compliance, it's got your firm information that you can pull. So your firm address, if you're trying to give them your address and you don't want to type it, you can just pull in the merge field, whatever it might be. When you're ready to send it, you can hit send. And when you go back to Leap, as soon as it's sent from Outlook, you can see here that it's sent. And in fact, I'm just going to quickly go to my email and respond to the email so that you can actually see it pop up, the response in here too. So I have a lot of emails that have happened since I started recording these. But you'll see up top here, I've got Rosie Goodman purchase from Donald Duck, test email. It's not a fancy email, but I'm just going to reply and I'm going to say, thanks. And again, once it comes through, you'll be able to see the reply here. It'll also show up in your Outlook inbox as well as showing up in Leap. So it'll just pop in here in a second. I think my Gmail sends every couple minutes. So that's a new document, new email. The other thing that I'll show you from Outlook is attaching documents from Outlook. Oh yeah, here's the response in here, and it'll attach in Leap soon. Is any sort of attachment, you can right click and you can save and rename an attachment to a Matter. You can also save an attachment to a Matter, or you can do the whole email. So let's say a client emails you, it's not coming directly into your Matter because it's not a response, and Leap doesn't know off the top of its head like which Matter it should attach it to. So it just goes to your inbox here, but you can just save that email to the Matter. Oh, I haven't selected an email. Sorry, I can also right click here and do it the same way, but it should, I know if I at least open it, it'll work. Normally it would do it from there, but you can just save to Matter here, or you can save just the attachment to the Matter. So that's how you save a document or an email to Leap. So here we can see the green one. Here's the response that came through. So those are emails. The next one that we have here is guides and precedents. I'm just going to give you the quick version today because precedent training goes into all of this in more detail. So you will see here that there's legal guides. This is the By Lawyers module, and it's an extra Leap add-on with an extra subscription charge. So if you are not By Lawyer users, you can pretty much ignore this, but you can see it's got like cover sheets and to-do lists, and it basically is for firms that don't have templates and checklists and processes for all of these things, like initial letter and closing retainer agreement, like affidavit, time and cost estimates. It's kind of like the how-to dummies guide for running your firm. But Leap's still got a lot of really great internal content, which you can find in Browse. When you go under Browse, you can see, depending on if you're By Lawyers, use it or not, like it's going to change what it looks like. But there's, for example, like e-registration documents, and then application form 1. There's all the different kind of like forms and that you will need to complete a real estate transaction. Transfer of deed of land. I'll come back to this, but I'm just going to show you quickly that you can also search. I'm just going to search form 2, just to kind of show you what that looks like. But you can see that you can also search any kind of form or name up here, and you can filter by Ontario, you know, what folder to search, etc. So there's different ways of searching for what you're looking for, and you can also go by matter type as well up here. So wherever, like whatever matter type you're working in, is where it's gonna default the folder to. So if you're in family law, you're gonna get like the family law folder, right? So I'm just gonna go back to the e-registration documents, transfer or deed of land. You'll also notice some forms and precedents are Word and some are PDFs, just depending on what type of document it is. So this one's a PDF. Because I didn't put in any information for property or transaction details, probably a lot of this is going to be blank, but that's okay. So here's a transfer of deed or land, registry, land titles, property identifiers, block, property, consideration, description, division, consolidation. You can see here that most of this isn't filled out because I didn't fill it out. But the things that are in the matter, like Donald Duck is the seller, you know, the seller's lawyer, here's my client, the buyer, here's my information as the lawyer. So based on what you put into the matter, it actually is going to fill in anything that you have on there, which is nice. There's also, I've got my video bar over it, like the regular Adobe tools in here, and you'll also have if there's something that you need to just fill in manually because it's not in the matter, you can also, you know, just type text directly into the field as you would normally edit a PDF as well. Once you're done, you can save it. And you can see here that it's saved in here as well. So that's, again, forms and precedents is going to be its own training. And also depending on your matter type, you might have additional tools. For example, if you practice family law and you're a DivorceMate user, you're going to have a DivorceMate integration here as well. And I know Leap University has a great learning module on that, as well as there's a couple really good webinars on YouTube that I can send you if you're interested. The other thing that you can do here is create a new comment. So if multiple lawyers are working on a matter, or you want to take notes or a status update, or whatever it might be, hit new comment and you can take notes here. Another thing that I like to use it for is taking notes on a phone call, right? So you can say like, you know, client called, says, you know, whatever the client says, I advised, whatever you advised, you know, whatever notes you want to put in here, right? You can use all kind of the rich text, bold, italics, underline, you know, formatting, bullets. You can attach links, images. You can also put in like a time and date stamp, which is nice. If you're working with someone and you want them to get notified and get a notification on this, you can also select them to get a notification on the comment. You can create a task out of it if you want, and we'll get into tasks shortly. Then you can either save and close, or you can time save and close, where it will create a time entry. This is kind of nice if the client like phones and you immediately open a new comment when you answer, and then once they're done, you time save and close. You have like the amount of time you spent on the phone ready to log. But I'll just save and close for now. You'll notice they're starting to get kind of a lot of things here. A couple things you can do to organize it is you can, you know, drag things to the correct folders. You can also pin documents or folders to the top just by right-clicking Pin to Top. Now this is right at the top always. You can also right-click and unpin it, again, if you don't want it anymore. There's a few other tools. You can see the history of changes. You can, you can send it as an email. You can send it via Teams. You can send it via Law Connect, which is our secure document sharing portal. You can export it, so basically just saving it to your desktop. You can replace default reference. So this is like a letter to Rosie. But let's say you want to send the exact same letter to multiple people. You would just select that. You can duplicate it, rename it, and then replace the default reference to keep the copies. So yeah, there's lots of options of what you can do with documents. The next thing I'm going to show you really quickly is sharing documents via Law Connect, which is our secure document portal. So sometimes firms just use this for all their correspondence so that clients have all their documents in one place. You can also send invoices through Law Connect, share trust statements through Law Connect, etc. Sometimes you just might use it for like one-off things, like if it's a file that's too big to email, for example. But I'll show you to use it, and then you can choose how you want to use it. So all you do is you right-click, and you can, well, this is just regular Law Connect. You can view shared items or link matters together. But just up here, share securely via Law Connect. You can also share it up via Law Connect up there as well. And what this does is this is going to open another screen. And you can type the recipient email, or you can select it from your list. You can choose whether they have to sign into view, which is the most secure, or if anyone with the link can view. For sign into view, they can either create an account directly the first time they get an email. They can use like their Google, like their Gmail login, or their Outlook login, like their Microsoft login. So there's different ways to log in, which makes it really easy. You can type a message. Here's the letter I mentioned, whatever, whatever kind of message you want it to get emailed with, right? And then you can share as a restrict editing PDF, a regular PDF, or original format, which in this case would be a Word document. I'll just do it as a restrict editing PDF, and I'm going to hit share. And what's going to happen, first of all, is you are going to be able to see right here that it was shared via Law Connect. And also, I'm going to get an email to my Outlook, and I will just pull that over. Is Celine Hogue shared blank letter with you, and I can see that here. I can view it. You'll notice in Leap, once it's updated, you can see the Law Connect item. It'll actually say viewed. I'm just going to keep going, so we might go past the viewed because I'm going to make a comment on it. But you can see here, please sign into your account to view it. I'm going to sign in. So now I can view the document that was sent to me. It's not a very fancy document, but I can download it, I can close it. The other thing that's kind of nice is clients can make comments on it. So if they highlight here and hit the plus sign, you can be like, you spelled my name wrong, or whatever else, other type of comments they want, right? Which is nice because then you can get all of their feedback if you want them to review a document, for example. You can see all their feedback in one place. You can make comments back to them. It's kind of a good system. They can also kind of view details of it. You can download it. You can just kind of close this bar if you want. Once we close that, this is kind of what Law Connect looks like from the client side, is they can see all of their activity feed for a matter. They can see what's been shared by the firm, what they've uploaded to you. Clients can upload documents to you through here. So I'm just going to, choose some random document. And we're like, okay, please review this, whatever message the client wants to send to you. And what's going to happen from there is you will get a notification in Leap and in the Matter, and you'll also get an email that your client has uploaded a document to you. If clients have multiple matters, they can also see all their matters and all their correspondence and documents within one kind of account. Like this one has 5 items. You can see that we're sharing entire folders here. So there's lots of different options. So now you can see there's the collaboration that this folder's been created. This is where you can see anything that a client has sent to you. Getting pretty full again, which is why we can keep organizing it. But I'm gonna move on for the sake of time. A couple other things up here is just where you can upload either files or whole folders from your desktop or from OneDrive, like if you're importing existing Matter documents for all the matters you're backing up here. You can kind of send texts or do anything from the mobile app here. You can, if you use Teams, you can send documents or you can send matters through Teams. Here's another place you can access the timesheet. Remember I showed you the top of Leap here. You can access the timesheet. You can also access it from the top of any matter, but there's a couple other places for it. So that's details and correspondence. Next one, calendar and tasks, is you can create new appointments, new meetings, new Teams meetings. You can also create tasks. And this is exactly like in the same way that letters work through Word and emails work through Outlook. This also just works through Outlook. So for example, if we're going to create a new appointment, it's going to pop up right here. The appointment name by default is just the matter name, but maybe we'll say like, you know, meeting with client, and you can put in the location, the details. You can add people. It's exactly the way that you would use it in Outlook. You can change the matter if you need to. You can add time entries, select matter contacts, attach attachments, anything you might need. Set the date and time. Save and close. And now this meeting with the client's in here, as well as it's in your Outlook calendar as well. Similarly, you know, a meeting is, or an appointment and meeting are kind of slightly different. The difference of the meeting is that it's going to ask you to invite somebody. It's required that you invite somebody to it, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. Then we have tasks. So again, subject is like whatever it might be. Do this thing. Start date, due date, status, priority, all the usual things that you would put in for a task. You can also add time entries, files, change the matter if you need to. Maybe the due date will be tomorrow, priority high, save and close. And you will see that it is, got my recording button over there, there we go. Got my Leap tasks here, all my matter tasks, and I have it here as well. I also just want to bring your attention to all the critical dates in Leap. So file open date, agreement of purchase and sale, deposit due, waiver of fulfillment. These are hard-coded into Leap, so you can't change what these are. What you do is you just set the date. So file open date, you can't change that at the date you open it. But maybe the agreement of purchase and sale was, you know, on the 6th. The deposit due date was today. You can check off that it's done. I'm just making up dates. And so what's going to happen is you can see all the dates of things that are coming up in the matter. Maybe like occupancy date. It's going to be a couple weeks from now. So you can see them all coming up, and it's also going to affect the status of where where that matters at. Like after the property is inspected, it's going to update the status to property inspected. It's like whatever the most recent thing that occurred is. So that's calendar and tasks. Before we get into finances, the very last thing is safe custody. And that's what you would use if you are going to be holding, if you do or are going to be holding any documents that belong to a client. So if you are like holding a marriage certificate or a passport or anything important that you want to make a note of, you can add a document. You can say a location, you know, like filing cabinet drawer 3, or maybe it's in a storage locker or wherever it might be, right? Maybe it's just sitting on your desk. The matter is just the one you're working on, the type. You can customize this under settings. But we'll just say maybe you're holding a certificate of title. You can upload an electronic copy if you want to scan and upload it. Status is currently held, but maybe temporarily removed or permanently removed. Once it's removed, you have who removed it, the reason, and the date. And that way, when a client comes back to you 5 years later and is like, hey, you have my marriage certificate, I know you have it, I remember giving it to you, you can be like, actually, I returned it to you on December 4th, and you signed for it, or whatever it might be, right? So it's just a way of recording like where things are stored and whether or not you still have them. And we can see here, there is the safe custody document. Just double checking that I haven't missed anything important. The one thing I'll show you really quickly is just what the history of changes looks like and how to work with it, because I said it was there, but I didn't show you. Every time you update or change a document in Leap, when you go to save and close, it's going to have a pop-up that asks for the reason for change or description. So you can put that in here, and it's going to say the date and time it was changed and the name. And once you have multiple of these, you can right-click and preview any version of it. You can compare 2 versions of the document, or you can go back and set an original version as current. So this means you don't need to save like 30 different copies of the different versions. All of the versions are actually saved in Leap. You're never going to lose them, which is nice. You can always see them under the history of changes. Okay, so this marks the end of this video. In the next video, I'm going to go through the Leap mobile app, settings, and reporting features.